Hey guys, be sure to check out the Mortar Pod, our weekly video podcast, and also check out the tutorial video for my board game, Travelers of Storia. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another M15 Swiss Draft. Rare isn't super exciting. Not really sold on that one. Let's see. Typhoid Rats is fine. Welkin Turn's fine. I wish it could block everything, but it does fly for a cheap cost. I don't really like it as a first pick that much. Because I like doing trades in this format. Welkin Turn's not as good in this core set as I think it was in previous ones. Because although this is an aggressive format, there's times where you just really want to make trades, and Welkin Turn just never gives you that option. You don't get that luxury. I'm kind of feeling the Krinko's Enforcer because it's evasive. It is double red though, but it's a creature that evades. Peel from Reality is like, ugh, it's not that exciting of a first pick, you know. It's a good card. Let's just first do the Enforcer and see what happens. Okay, so now I've got Constricting Sliver, Feral Incarnation, which is very good. Crowd's Favor, Forge Devil, Frostlinks, Hunt the Weak, a lot of good cards in here. Double Midnight Guard, oddly enough. So I'm looking at, I think, Constricting Sliver because it's removal. Feral Incarnation is a card I do like a lot. Typically you're going to pay like 6 mana probably for 3/3 creatures. Is a pretty good deal. I don't think we're following up with a red card, even though I love Forge Devil and Crowd's Favor. They're just not nearly as good as the other cards in this pack. Hunt the Weak is very good too. Kind of feeling the Constricting Sliver since it's creature removal. Creature plus removal, which is just really strong. It is 6 mana, however. I'm going to go with the Sliver on a hunch. He's done good for me in the past. I like creatures that also remove creatures. It seems like a solid deal. Okay, third pick, Elvish Mystic, might be the sign we're looking for. A rare and an uncommon was taken from here, so not necessarily showing that green is open, but I do love Elvish Mystic, and I would say without a doubt it's got to be the strongest card remaining in this pack. Followed closely by maybe the Mongrel, Titanic Growth, Skirmisher possibly. Torch Fiend's fine too, there's a lot of good artifacts. But let's take the Mystic because it's a ramp, 1-drop. That convokes anything out. Okay, Obelisk, very good. Raise the Alarm, I love this card. Kind of feeling like Raise the Alarm is probably just the best one in here. This is actually one of those MVP cards that not only is it super synergistic with like so many different themes, whether it be a Paragon, whether it be, you know, instant speed, blocking a X1, or convoking out stuff, but it's just cheaply costed and it's common. So it's like, to me, it's just a really nice card for this format in particular. I think was it originally in Mirrodin or something, maybe? Yeah, we're going to take it over the Obelisk, even though the Obelisk is a cool rare and all. I think Raise the Alarm is one of my personal faves. There. Another piece of synergy for your Raise the Alarm, Selfless Cathar, which I've gone on to say how much I love it in the last few drafts. I'm still kind of sticking by that. There's also the red Paragon in here, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a Lord. Could be red-white. I feel like I haven't done red-white yet either. And there are pretty good red cards in here. There aren't any good green cards in here to follow up the Mystic with, but I mean, I'm definitely going to play Selfless Cathar if I take it. If I take Paragon and I don't end up red, how bummed am I going to be that I missed out on a Selfless Cathar? I don't know. Maybe not too bummed. I think it's just the white Paragon's so much more useful for what we're trying to do. But, I mean, it's early enough where we can take the red Paragon. If red's open, we'll find out in the next couple picks. If I miss out on a Selfless Cathar, I mean, it sucks a little bit, but not the end of everything. All right, well, now we get Inferno Fist, which is an amazingly good red card. Return to the Ranks would be good. later if I was sure I just had a ton of, 2 or less mana cost dudes. Torch Fiend is of course good. Invasive Species is of course good. Titanic Growth is playable. Amphin Path Mages as well. Everything else is kind of meh. But I like the Inferno Fist. That might just be the ticket to, and then follow up with a Broodkeeper. I've yet to play again, or I've yet to play with a solid Broodkeeper foundational deck, and I've been wanting to for a while. And actually, red-white is the place to do the Broodkeeper deck, since you have not only the Heliod's Pilgrims, but you get your, Divine Favors and Marked by Honors and all that nonsense. Inferno Fists. Crowd's Favor Elson here. I love it, but not going to take it over the Broodkeeper. I'll keep the current color scheme, thank you. Okay. That's a late living totem. Could be a sign to move into green-red, but Hammerhand's got the synergy with Broodkeeper. Living Totem is far and away the best card remaining in this pack. I don't think there's anybody that can really question that. The 2 white cards I currently have are pretty good, and there is an Oppressive Raise in here, but, Hammerhand's so much worse than Living Totem, but I guess for synergy's sake we take it. Alright, Marked by Honor, Founder Street Denizen, Wall of Essence. This is pack 1. Meteorite's still kicking it in here. Could take the Marked by Honor. Works particularly well with Broodkeeper, but still pretty good on a Krenko's Enforcer too. I still hate the Founder Street Denizen. He's playable, but I don't like him. Think I'm going to go with the Marked by Honor. Hope that pans out for us. Alright, Crowd's Favor, Midnight Guard. Feral Incarnation still in here, shockingly. Let's see here. I do love the Crowd's Favor. Midnight Guard is a very solid 3-drop, but I think I'm actually going to go with the Crowd's Favor just because I love this spell so much. Free tricks are just too hot of a commodity in my mind. Alright, Boonweaver Giant. I've played against it, and it's done things against me, and I've already got a couple targets for it, so why not? Alright, we'll take Tyrant's Machine now, in case I get the Mongrel later. Ornithopter, sure. Probably not playing it. Soulmender, if I end up with any Johnny Pridemates, Soulmender is a very easy card to play. Soulmender is actually just better in this format, I think, than it was in previous core sets as well. Pretty much 1/1s in this format for some strange reason have just gotten better. It's all of these really powerful X1s for 2 mana. I think really make the 1/1 for 1s better. Just as, nice blockers. Well, geez. Open Garrick. He's still worth tickets, so I think I got to take him. Otherwise, I think our first pick is probably the Mongrel or the Willforged Golem. We've only got one real artifact for the Mongrel. I guess we've got the Ornithopter too, but I'd prefer not to play it. But yeah, we're just going to take the Garrick and take some cash and put it in our pockets. Okay. And then next, we've got a second Marked by Honor. We've got Foundry Street Denizens, the only real... This is a really bad pack for us. Pretty unexciting pack 2 all around. I guess we take the Foundry Street just in case I have to be hyper aggressive. I guess we have the red Paragon already, so... That was a terrible second pick. Another Elvish Mystic. I love Frenzied Goblin, however. Look at that. Stark contrast between 1/1 goblins. Frenzied Goblin is far and away better than Founder Street Denizen. But it appears like we're probably going to end up some sort of red-white aggressive thing. So I'm going to take the Frenzied Goblin over the Mongrel, even though I think the Mongrel's good too. And the Willforged Golem's good as well. As well as Ephemeral Shields. But Frenzied Goblin is the direction I want. Hopefully we can see a second Broodkeeper. That'd be nice. Alright. Borderland Marauder seems to be the most attractive pick for us here. Solid 2-drop. Necromancer Stockpile. Huh. Yeah, I think we're just taking the Borderland Marauder. Not much to say. Good card. There it is, second Broodkeeper. Excellent. All right, let's be the Broodkeeper deck. So now we just we've already got Marked by Honor and Hammerhand and Inferno Fist. So second Broodkeeper here is really gonna lend us well towards that strategy. We are passing an Oreskos Swiftclaw as well as a Rough Rider, both of which I'd be happy to play. But yeah, Broodkeeper is the deck I've been wanting to try for a while, and I've never gotten the option to do it. So I think red-white is definitely where you want to be for the Broodkeeper deck. Red-green would definitely work fine too. I think there's like the same amount of auras probably. I think they're just more underwhelming. We got the Divine Favor here, which I think is the pick. Just going to keep us going in this aura direction. So we're going to be weak against bounce, but you do have to resolve it, don't you? Yeah, you've got to resolve your aura. Blastfire Bolt would also be an option, that's fine, and Thundering Giant is playable, but yeah, Divine Favor, right on point with what we're trying to do. Alright, Rummaging Goblin. There's also Shrapnel Blast in here, but I don't want to play an Ornithopter just so I can play a Shrapnel Blast. I mean, I can buff the Ornithopter with Hammerhand, Inferno Fist, Divine Favor, Marked by Honor, I guess, but I don't like the idea of 2 cards for 5 damage really all that much, which I think is the main reason I haven't seen too much of Shrapnel Blast played at all this format. But Rummaging Goblin, on the other hand, good card. Rewards you in situations where you're getting flooded or you're getting screwed. Well, I think the sad thing is Pillar of Light works really well in conjunction with Warden of the Beyond, but they're both in the same pack, which makes it a little bit of a dilemma. Warden of the Beyond is actually better in our deck because the Vigilance, it's nice when you're buffing Vigilance, creatures with auras. Lava Axe is also, I mean, there's an argument for that, but I think we actually have a good mid-game strategy at this point with the Broodkeeper, so let's go for more utility cards like Pillar of Light that deal with fatties that are otherwise difficult to deal with. Alright, could take the Miner's Bane. At this point, I guess we can take the Lava Axe. I mean, I think Lava Axe is probably more playable than Miner's Bane. Alright, nothing we can play. What's the most annoying? Probably the Blood Host, although Ranger's Guile is definitely annoying as well. None of these cards matter. I think I'm just going to take the Staff, maybe. Jeez, all the utility black rares that aren't that good. I don't think I'm playing Act on Impulse, even though we've got, I guess, cards I could use with it, but I don't know what else to do with it. I guess I take it. Cut Red. Verdant Haven, I think, is probably more playable than Invisibility. Alright, White Staff now. Okay. So we're at 20 cards. We've got 11 creatures. The deck's okay. I'd like to... I mean, we've got the Broodkeeper plan going, so if I can get a third Broodkeeper, then we're really well solidified into that. We're still pretty good. We've got 4 nice auras that interact positively with the Broodkeepers. We have the Boonweaver Giant, which can, dig up another one. Another solid 2-drop here with Swiftclaw, but I think we're just going to go with the Inferno Fist. Hopefully table Rough Rider, Swiftclaw, or Founder Street Denizen, but we'll see. Yeah, I guess we have Broodkeeper, so technically Crucible of Fire becomes a playable card, but I think we're more for powerful auras right now, like Inferno Fist. Okay, so now I think it's just another Borderland Marauder, continuing the cheap threat plan. Yep, seems correct to me. Okay, next we've got Solemn Offering, I guess, for the sideboard. Not a very exciting pick. Powerful cards in green, pretty much. But yeah, nothing else for us, really, so I guess we'll take the Solemn Offering. Seraph of the Masses, great card, especially when you have a lot of cheap stuff. I think I'm going to take the Seraph, because we're short on creatures especially, over the Hammerhand and over the Pillar of Light. How many auras are we up to? What are we up to? 5 auras now? I think that's pretty good with 2 Brood Keepers. Probably don't need too many more than that. So Seraph of the Masses is our 23rd card. I think our first cut's probably the Tyrant's Machine. Alright, second Enforcer, third Borderland Marauder. I mean, Marauder is pretty good. It's much better aggressively, but we are pretty aggressive. We really have 14 creatures with the Raise the Alarm. So Enforcer versus Marauder. Marauder is much more aggressive. Enforcer is evasive. Trying to think what I like more. With all the auras, possibly the evasiveness is better, but Borderland Marauder is so aggressive. I'm going to take the Enforcer. I don't know if it's right. I think I value the evasion more than the cheaper dude. I mean, you have to keep in mind, Krenko's Enforcer blocks better too, and I think he really does wield like Infernal Fists and stuff like that better as well. So let's cut the Tyrant's Machine. Possibly the next cut being Soul Mender. Even though it's a 1-drop, it's not really what we're trying to do too much. Curd Chieftain would be nice. I think it might just be the pick anyway. I'd want to hate it from the red-green player, and it's a Hill Giant at worst. Otherwise, I could take the Thundering Giant, but I don't know. I like the Curd Chieftain just as much, if not more, than the Thundering Giant anyway. Alright, second Rummaging Goblin or Oppressive Raise. You know, in a pinch, Oppressive Raise can help you spit out a dragon if you need a flyer. As odd as that seems. Other than that, it's fine when you got a bunch of cheap creatures, so it's very good with aggressive plans, which at this point I would say we're pretty aggressive. Swiftclaw Tables, that's great news. We could also take the Founder Street Denizen, but Swiftclaw is just so much better. Even with the Denizen or the Paragon plan, I think Swiftclaw is just far and away better. 3 power at 2 cost doesn't require you to, you know, keep with that. Sungrace Pegasus is very good too, especially with all of our auras. And it evades. It's got life gain. You know, the Pegasus might actually be the better pick now that I mentioned... but we're trying to deal damage fast at the same time. That's tough, actually. I don't know what I like more. This flies and wields... I think because it flies and wields the auras better, I'm going to take the Pegasus. But ordinarily, I think Swiftclaw would probably be better. Alright, Crucible of Fire did table, but I think we're going to take the Denizen. We're going to go all out on cheap dudes. Psalm Offering number 2 out of the sideboard, just in case. None of these cards really matter. I guess Kite Fin is probably the best. Naturalize, I guess, deals with our auras, so could take that. It's a lot of Leeching Slivers. Alright, so we got a red-white deck. First time I've played this. Pretty happy with what we ended up with. I think we could have just as easily gone red-green and been successful, but it's nice to branch out, try other things every once in a while, and I do think this deck looks pretty good. I think we're probably going to cut the Curd Chieftain. Not because it's a bad card necessarily, but just not exactly what we need, and then probably the Soul Mender as well. Probably not exactly what we need. And we still, I guess, have to make a couple more cuts, so we'll have to figure that out. Let's separate stuff out for now. So, geez. We indeed look aggressive. So how many auras did we end up with? 5, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess, but Oppressive Raise, I guess, hardly counts as one. I can see the argument for that. really do hate those Founder Street Denizens, but this is probably a deck for them. I don't think I cut any more creatures. We're at the bare minimum I'm willing to play with for this deck. So let's cut some actual spells. Let's cut the Pillar of Light from main deck. I think I'm actually tempted to cut the Divine Favor. Yeah, I know we've got the synergies with the double Broodkeeper, but between Hammer Hand, Oppressive Raise, Double Inferno Fist, and Marked by Honor, really 4 auras if you don't want to count the Oppressive Raise, which you understandably don't. Still 4 auras for 2 Broodkeepers. That seems appropriate. I guess we could cut the Boonweaver Giant. I feel like we're going to have a hard time getting to 7 mana. Seraph isn't actually a 7 mana spell. And what's the best thing we could get on Boonweaver Giant? Yeah, Marked by Honor, probably. Which means we're paying 7 mana for a 6/6 Vigilance. Alright, I guess admittedly that's pretty good, but I think I want to keep my curve down more. Get some more... I'm going to go with the Hill Giant instead. You might say it's wrong, and you might be right. I don't know, though. I would prefer to not play a 7-drop white spell in here. I prefer to just sort of stick with the aggressive thing, clean up with Broodkeepers or Krenko's Enforcers or Seraph at some point. I think we're going to do 10-7. Could get away with 6 probably. This is double white, but because it's got Convoke, any of my other white spells make it cheaper. I might do 10-6. Or 11-6 rather. Might make more sense. I do need double red early. I do need white relatively early too, especially to play the Oppressive Raise, but I guess I could do 10-7. For the most part, I only need 1 red. It's just the Enforcers that require the double red. Yeah, I think I'm going to run it like this. This deck's alright. Could have been... What could have made it more exciting? I don't know. Maybe a few more cheap creatures, but... What have we... How many... Let's group creatures separate again. We ended up with 9 3 or less creatures. That's not bad, I guess. Would have preferred a few more, but... yeah, this deck seems fine. Seems like it could steal some games very easily. Broodkeeper is usually a big ace in the hole, so we'll see. I'm going to try it like this. I'll see you guys round 1.